Hello and welcome. I am Sylvia Hartmann, the creator of Modern Energy, and I am here today to tell a personal story of personal development that has just happened to me, thanks to starmatrix. If you are completely new to this, starmatrix is a personal development method based on not trying to clear the endless trauma of our lives, but instead pay some attention to our star memories, the best memories of this life, the only type of memories that flash before our eyes when we're about to shuffle off our mortal coil. We focus on the positive memories in our lives, the high positive memories of our lives, because in those high positive memories are the most important knowings, insight, information about who we are, what we're about, and also about how the universe really works. The star memories are the treasures and riches of our lives. So I have been teaching star matrix courses, 7 now. This is the 7th coming up since we first started in November 2019. This in and of itself is extraordinary. I've hardly ever taught a single course more than once because I am interested in research and I want to bring the field of modern energy forward while I'm still alive. However, Star Matrix I have now done 6 times, and I have no intention of stopping anytime soon because there are depths and levels and layers to this. There are so many astonishing changes that come about because of the focus on the positive star memories for a change, rather than a lifetime of thinking that, your life was trauma or your childhood was terrible. It's unbelievable. I mean, I always thought, for example, that I was a very ungrateful person. And it turns out that I can be just washed away by waves of intense gratitude. Just like that, remembering all the help I've had and all the people who have loved what I do. It's oh my God, the reason that I didn't realize that this was so, that there had been so much support in and of itself is just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It shows how that endless trauma focus orientates us to places and creates a completely false story in the end of our lives. A totally false story. And this is why our lives are not working. We are acting on wrongful information. And so today, as I said, I'm here. I had a major change of mind, if you want to call it that, or change of heart happening to me in the last couple of weeks. And one of the things that I've always been really upset about, really deep down and unhappy about, was the fact that there had been so many failures, so many projects that my aspects started with great excitement and delight, and then they just failed. Or so I thought, wrongfully at that. It all started with For You a Star. It just, when I was doing Star Memories, I remembered creating For You a Star. This is a book with paintings and poems in it to raise energy, basically. High positives. Very first time I've ever had the high positives as aspects of love, high energy things, such as freedom and dominion and love and gentleness, tenderness, really high energy positives together in a painting and a poem. And during the starmatrix exercise, I remembered that. I connected with the excitement of that, with the tremendous joy and finding these treasures and riches, these positives, these positive energies that you can just evoke by thinking about them, by writing a poem about them, by drawing a picture to represent that energy, to transmit that energy. It was an extraordinary time, and it was absolutely amazing. And at some point, I just went, so how is it that I consider this, which is a representative of that time, which has that energy with it, as a failure? How's that even possible? And it became clear to me that the way I had judged or categorized such projects as For You a Star, I'd judged and categorized them because of their commercial success at the time. How many people would buy them? And that is a way of how to judge something. Strictly monetary, if you will, or applause of other people. You can judge things to be a success based on that. If you judge the success on things based on that, then the Nazi Party in the 1930s in Germany was hugely successful. Not long term, though. It didn't really last that long. But I started to question this, and I started to think about my failure pile. And I really did have somehow in my mind this giant pile of failures. Started, not just For You a Star, but virtually everything you see there behind me in my background could come under that heading. That the aspects were making something that was super exciting to them, that had high energy, awesome insights, just, really good stuff, if you want to call it that, really good stuff. But for whatever reason, it didn't sell. Perhaps we didn't market it right, or something happened, or I hate to say this, or it wasn't meant to be, but they kind of didn't sell, or people didn't react, or didn't say, wow, this is amazing, or not enough of them, because some people did always. So that's another weirdness going on there. But either which way, all these things ended up on a dusty failure pile, be it event psychology, be it the soul pilots, be it the golden horse, be it Ilori's Joy, be it the modern energy art coloring book. And I'm just looking here at the background myself on the screen, the energy symbols. Oh man, this is just aromatherapy for your soul. And there's so many more. Magic spells and potions is there in the background too. The And all these things are lying in this dark corner on a failure pile. And it happened that the day it came, the moment it came, when I looked at these beautiful things, each one really a collection of star events that I have had in my life. And I just couldn't think of them as failures any longer. Not just not think of them as failures any longer. It was like, oh, how could you? How could you have put those things into a dark room full of dust and rubbish and locked the door on them? So you never think about them. Well, of course, if they're sad, miserable failures, of course I didn't want to think about them. Of course I didn't. And of course we do this thing where the things we don't want to think about, we, lock them up in our minds somehow, and we just don't go there any longer. And so these fade and become dusty. They don't go away. They just become dusty and sad. And that doubles why we don't want to go there anymore. Yeah. So I had that moment of how could you? How could you think of those photo albums of star moments? Every one of them is like a photo album of star moments, of research, of breakthrough moments, of super important insights that were then used, of course, to construct modern energy as we know it. It's crazy. It's crazy to think of them as failures. And yet I did for all those years. And now I don't anymore, or I have started to sort of reassess things or like reconnect with things. And this one here is, again, this is just the first and an example to put it back where it belongs as my personal photo album of star events. That's actually a really good way of describing it. You know, it's my personal photo album of star events. Wow, you know, but not a failure. This is not a failure. Maybe a commercial failure, but does that matter? I mean, in the context of a person's life, am I going? You don't take the checks, the royalty checks into the grave with you. You don't. The only thing you do take is those star events in your soul. That's the only thing we take. And if we come from that direction, then these things are not failures. They're beautiful and they're radiant. And I'm blown away again with this gratitude that I have had the opportunity to experience this, to do this, to create these things, to have these fantastic experiences in the creation of them. And that's just a grace. It's a wonderful grace. And those books and the audio recordings for the beautiful hypnodreams and hypnosolutions and hyperdreams. And oh man, these are such beautiful things. And they are lighting up like stars in my timeline behind me when there was so much sadness and so much dust before. This is completely personal to me, of course. And it took a while. It took a couple of years before the star matrix thinking and the engaging with the star memories and starting to learn some lessons about how star memories work, what they are, and connecting to the energy of that time, the aspects of that time. That is so rejuvenating. That is so exciting. And surely that must be good for, as I'm getting older, it must be good for an old person to reawaken these energies. And it's totally stimulated my creativity, my my energy in the day. And I love these things. I love all of them. I think they are beautiful. And I think that anybody who has understood energy, modern energy, real energy, will find some joy in them too. Absolutely. And you never know, 100 years after I'm dead, the Golden Horse might be a massive commercial success and the stories are translated into thousands of languages. Who knows? But then again, who cares? Who cares? It's not important. What was important was the writing of the stories, the experiences the aspects had, the star moments that are inside these projects. That is their value and their worth. And I am so hoping that there is somebody who gets to hear this and listens to this and thinks to themselves, I wonder if I did that too with past projects, whether I too put it on a failure pile because it wasn't commercially successful, or because not enough people clapped and applauded when I made these things. I think this is a major part of reevaluating who you are, what your life is all about, and to get closer to actual reality absolute, which is, get out of delusion and into some measure of reality. And the reality is that these projects were never, ever failures. They were fabulous experiences. They were wonderful, wonderful moments in time when my aspect saw something that was important, that was enlightening, that was exciting, that was fun, that was beautiful. And these are the building blocks from which modern energy is created as a whole. And that is when that happened, when I got that these projects, they all have little stars inside of them. But every project altogether forms, with their stars, forms the GOE's star matrix. And so they're not just not failures. They are wonderful. They're amazing. They are sparkling stars. And I am so, so grateful and happy that some sort of justice was done here at last. And they are acknowledged as what they are, the building blocks of modern energy, the stars, from which the matrix of the Guild of Energists of modern energy is created. And that is just amazing. And I'm trying to get a sense of what that means to me and how that changes just so many things. Whew. Yes. So I wanted to tell you that, and I want to encourage you to do Star Matrix. Do it. Get the book. Take the test. Get your Star Matrix Foundation certificate from us. Go on to do the Star Matrix Masters and Star Matrix Pro as well. It is honestly the accumulation. It's the best thing ever. And it's because it's not about what I know. It's about what you already know. And to put that back together, take all this knowledge that we haven't activated, all this wisdom, all these star moments, and put them together for your own personal star matrix. And when that connects up, even small areas start to connect up at first. It's just the most wonderful, wonderful homecoming to our true selves, without lying, without delusion, without, thinking we're better than we are. It's just the truth of our lived experience. And that is where the real human wisdom can be found. That's where we come home to ourselves as human beings in this fantastic multiverse. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time. And I love Star Matrix. Star Matrix is the way. Bye for now.